Okay, hey everyone, my name is Florin Yark. I'm the sales manager here at Datshca. Today I'm going to show you how our users are using Datshca for site finding, site validation, comparable evidence, as well as for planning application search, occupier, and potentially we'll dive into the, if we have time, into the footfall module. Now, for those who haven't heard of Datshca, we come from Sweden. We started the product back in the early 2000, came to the UK 2015. And what we do, we pull out data from what we believe are the best publicly available and reliable data sources. I'm going to talk about the data as I do the demo. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a map, purely for the fact that I'm a map geek. Now, everything you see, the blue dots will be every single property across England and Wales. I'm going to deactivate this because we have 24.4 million, and it'll be quite disruptive with all of those on the map. Let's zoom in at an asset level, and I'm going to activate the data sets one by one. Now, this is the national polygon system, and this is updated on a monthly basis. And on top of this comes from Ordnance Survey, and on top of this, we can activate different data sets, i.e. ownership information. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them all at the same time on the map, and then I'm going to create a compound search in the backend to hopefully originate some opportunities. So you can play with the ownership, freehold ownership. You can play with the leasehold, and this will be the 7+ year registered leases. We also have occupiers, and this will be, we show you occupiers in a building irrespective of the lease length. So it could be short lease or long lease. Planning applications, footfall information, transactions, comps, comparable, and everything could be sliced and diced as you want. For i.e. transactions could be searched by use class, by purchase price, planning, by keywords, number of units, development value, build cost, so on and so forth. Occupiers by turnover, number of employees. So everything it's compoundable. Now, I think the easiest way will be to start with a property search. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my agent hat on, and let's assume you have a client who wants to find an office mixed use with retail in London. I'm going to stick to London. Building size, we will assume that we want to find something 3,000 square feet, no greater than 10,000 square feet. We can play with a plot of land as well, but I'm not going to do that now. Office retail, the retail element of it, let's say we want, even though it's quite tricky now, but I'm sure we will get back to normal. We want a restaurant. We'll probably want a shop, and maybe a store. And as you can see, this comes from Valuation Office Agency, and they're very granular. They're called the special category codes, and you can search for anything you can imagine across England and Wales. We can play with the number of leases. So let's say we want everything with at least 2 registered leaseholds in the property. Now, once I hit search, this will pull up a long list. We have 1,000 properties. Off market. So this is something that we've searched in the entirety of land registry. The list will give us the date of acquisition, the plot of land, rateable value, premises type, owner, ultimate owner, number of leases, so subsidiary, parent company. As we can see, this one was purchased in 2017. So let's narrow down even further. And let's say we want to find everything that was bought between 1st of Jan 1950. I'm making this up. And let's go to December 2010. So they had it for at least 10 years. They lived on that income for 10 years, and now maybe they want to sell. Still 1,000 properties, quite a few. Now, the data could be exported to Excel. Whenever we have a list in Datshca, we can plot it to Excel or export it to Excel or plot it on the map. On the map, it will look something like this. Now we can zoom in at an asset level, we can put up the boundaries, and from here we can analyze each property individually. Now, this is the summary information we get when we click on any of the blue dots or yellow dots now, which means we come from our results. We have the subsidiary, the parent company. It will tell us if it's the use class, so on and so forth. Now, if we want to go into one property, additional data, And here we'll quickly understand when the property was purchased, the building size, the land size, the rateable value, floor breakdown. So that's, as you can see, it's a combination of land registry and valuation office agency. We can check planning application. So everything it's stitched together on the map, i.e. owners, leaseholders, planning applications, occupiers, floor breakdown, so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to go back to the map and I'm going to try to find something rather big. That's a hotel. Let's have a look at this one that's owned by Shaftesbury. Seems like they own quite a lot of stuff, like Shaftesbury PLC. Now, inside this building, we can see the registered leaseholders. We can see the floor breakdown per each, so the rating objects per each hereditament. Once again, planning application. Now, coming back to the owner, the idea of Datshca, if it's highlighted in blue, it's clickable, which means if I click on Shaftesbury PLC, it will take me from what we call property page into the owner page. In the owner page, we can see their properties, freeholds, the split between freeholds and leaseholds. Their subsidiary, in this case, they have just two, and we can go inside of each asset they own. We can see this one was purchased in 85. It's a lease in Richmond, and looks like they own the freehold as well. If we want to analyze a rather big landlord, all we have to do, type in the name, let's say Land Securities, and the super search will work. It's Bing powered super search, so we can type in any address, any owner, any occupier, and Datshca will populate on the right side, on the right panel, i.e. the occupiers, i.e. the registered owners. So Land Securities, they have 351 properties. We can click on them. We can see all of their SPVs, 100 in our case. We can go through each subsidiary, and the way we've managed to do this is because we've combined the land registry file with Companies House subsidiary corporate entity structure. We can go back to the owner page and we can scroll down. We'll have a distribution per town, in our case 137 in London. And bear in mind, as previously mentioned, clicking on the 137 here, it will take us to a list with those ones which could be plotted on a map. We can scroll down and understand the distribution per premises type, number of offices, retail, or if we want to be more granular, we can analyze their portfolio from a special category code standpoint of view, which comes from valuation office agency, and it is very granular. Now, coming back at the top, we can note they have 165 leaseholds. Playing with our leaseholds tab, we can instantly find out who are the freehold owners of those particular leases. So, which means, in other words, if I'm going to open up a new tab, if we type in an occupier, let's say Iceland, we can click on Iceland. We can see they have 965 sites and 950 of those are leases. We can find out the landlords of every single Iceland in the UK, when the lease was last time granted or renewed, and we can delve into the owners, see what else they own, planning applications, how much they paid for the building, so on and so forth. But coming back to Land Security, let's say we want to see the exposure. What exposure do they have to what occupiers are they exposed to? And we have a tab which is called occupiers. Here we've matched occupiers 5+ with occupiers for with 5+ employees. Sorry, I've lost my words there. We tell you the top 10 occupiers of this landlord. In this case, they're exposed to Boots, Nando's, and Car from Warehouse, which I'm sure those will need to be replaced. So if I would be an agent, I'll go and speak with Land Securities, because I know they have 14 Car from Warehouse, and I can plot those on a map. We can see their largest occupiers by number of employees. We can see they like their business services in eating and drinking places. Or we can drill down very granular at the occupier level, and we can see how many employees they have. Each occupier has the turnover, the earning per business. So it's very granular data, I would say. Now, coming back to the Car from Warehouse, let's click on this one, the 14 here. This will be Land Security's 14 car from warehouses, which could be exported to Excel or could be plotted on a map. So as you can see, everything gets stitched together. Occupiers with freeholds, with planning application, and I'm going to go in a second in comms, so on and so forth. Now, planning module. Our planning module, it is it's rather you can create a compound search here as well as we've done with a property search. We can search by number of units for residential or square footage for commercial. So if I would be, I would like to find, for example, a B1 planning application for at least 5,000 square feet in London that was received on the local authorities website going back to 2018. Now this will pull up a list. It searches on every single local authorities portal, and it will pull up a list with the planning description. So we have 188 number of units. That's a mixed use, and 7,922 square feet of commercial. We'll have a construction start date, construction end date, build scope, story heights, the applicant company. So not the owner of the building, that is the applicant company with the relevant person. And the data could be sliced and diced even more granular. Now, if you want to get a notification to this planning application, so you don't want to do this search every single day, you can subscribe. And whenever someone puts a planning application according to your search criteria, Datshca will notify you. I'm going to take a moment to show you what other compound searches we can do on the planning. So let's say we want to find an office with C3 approved on it, which once again was received, excuse me, on the local authorities in London. Number of units will go 5 to 100. And we would like to see everything with the keywords change of use. Offices with C3 change of use in London, 5 to 100 units. We can play with the construction start date, construction end date, but I'm showing you how we can compound the data. Now, clicking on one planning application, this is the summary information we get. It's a private development, change of use from office to 17 one-bedroom flats. Planning application, it's matched to the freehold, so we can see where it is located on a map. We can scroll down, we can see the applicant, the relevant person, and we can go inside the normal Datshca page where we can see they bought it in 2018 and quickly find out how much they've paid for the building, and the building sold for £1.5 million. Now, I'm going to quickly show you the transactional module. And here we track, we have an agreement in place with Land Registry. On a monthly basis, they'll give us the price paid file for commercial. And on a daily basis, we'll scatter the internet for every single press release. And we'll analyze every single deal ourselves, over £3 million. We're not going to call anyone. Everything is done digitally and algorithmically, which means in Liverpool today and Stoke-on-Trent and Manchester, we have a few deals. RSL Property Management sold to HS Property Group, a mixed use scheme in Liverpool. We picked it up from this particular news link. As we can see, the price is approximated, and once a month, Land Reg, as I said, will send us the file, and that price will autocorrect itself when Land Reg will send us the price paid file. Now, let's say we want to search comms. And comms could be, once again, everything in Datshca could be compounded as such. So for the sake of the exercise, I'm going to find an office, the transaction in London, going back to 2018 for a purchase price greater than £5 million. Search. And Datshca will pull up a list with 486 deals, 1,332 transactions. We'll have the buyers, the sellers, the yields, property particulars if we find it, so on and so forth. The data could be exported to Excel and run your pounds per square foot numbers. And this is the transactional module. What else we have that I believe is very important is our new footfall module. So what we do, we track mobile devices across England and Wales, and we pull out footfall, number of footfall, the movement of persons. We don't have any private information, but We don't know who's the person, but we can tell you how many people are walking on any street. So for example, I can go back to 2016 and I can see in February, 894,000 people, 372 walked past that bit of street. We can slice and dice the data by time of day, full day, weekends, and weekday. Also, our new occupier module could help you identify occupiers by sector, subsector, turnover, employees in the organization. So for the sake of this exercise, let's say we want to find in London every business with a turnover between 2.5 and let's say £7.5 million with employer organization. I'm going to choose 10 to 99 search. I didn't search any sector nor subsector, but we can clearly see there's 6,781 businesses. Datshca will tell us the number of employees per premises and per business, how much money they're making, the turnover, and the landlord. Once again, if I click on the extended list, we'll get much more granular data in terms of SIC codes, employees in the organization, EBIT, so on and so forth. So this is a very good module for finding occupiers for your business development aspect. So these are the main modules in Datshca. Obviously, everything could be compounded, but in light of keeping this short, 20 minutes, I think this was one of the fastest demos that I've done. I'm gonna stop here. So yes, thank you very much. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put up on the screen. These are my contact details. Should you wanna do a live test, should you want to test the data in any shape or form, please do give me a call or send me an email, and I'm more than happy to help with any questions you might have. Thank you very much.